In this presentation, we will discuss the growth mindset, the fixed mindset, and also some of your learning preferences that might be impacted when you understand your mindset a little bit better. In this example on this bulletin board, you can see a lot of the negative self-talk and scripts that we have in our mind that might be affecting which kind of mindset that we have, a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. So we want to make sure that when you notice the ones in white, those are very fixed mindset perceptions, which we'll talk about in a moment. The ones that are in the colored note cards are ones that are in the growth mindset, where we'll take an example. I'm not good at this on the far left. Rather than just ascribing yourself to, oh, well, I'm just not going to be able to do this. I have no talent. I have no ability. The growth mindset would look at that and say, I'm not very good at this, so what am I missing? There's that one extra piece. So they might identify originally with that idea of the fixed mindset, but then they expand it into a growth mindset. So let's go into some more detail so you can understand this. What a fixed mindset is, it's a perception, it's a way of viewing things where you believe that basically you're stuck with the hand that you were dealt with, that you are limited. And you also tend to have the outlook that you don't want to be perceived as unintelligent, unknowing, untalented, whatever it may be. You don't want to have that negative perception of you. So that means that you might stay away from or avoid taking risks or challenges or trying new and different things. So it can lead to very frustrating and very negative perceptions and outlooks. When you're talking about a growth mindset, it's much more positive, and it's got some flexibility and adaptability. It's the belief that you can put effort and hard work into your efforts, and you can make things happen as a result of your efforts and your hard work. You can improve, you can reach goals. You're not just stuck because of limitations that you have encountered or that you have in your life. So, for example, the example here of I want to learn from criticism. Someone with a growth mindset will look at a paper that has a bunch of red ink all over it with teacher comments and say, oh, wow, great, I got feedback. Now I know what to do differently next time. Whereas maybe someone with a fixed mindset would be much more insulted and upset and offended by the fact that there's so many things that are marked wrong, and didn't they notice how much work I put into this? Oh, well. So you can see there's a lot of difference in the perception and the way that you understand what's being communicated to you as well. But this really comes from within, and it's really all about wanting to learn for learning's sake, and to not be so concerned about learning for a grade or for an outcome like that, but really because it makes you a more interesting, well-rounded, well-read, and intelligent person. So when you look at the comparisons, and I'm going to show you a few examples here, you can see the fixed mindset tends to be much more stuck and really doesn't have a lot of movement. They really don't want to try new and different things, be challenged. They really feel very personally attacked when there's feedback given, whereas a growth mindset is looking for opportunities to learn new things, try new things, and take risks. What kind of mindset do you have? Well, think about these two perspectives and the way that this is laid out. You may have a fixed mindset in one situation and a growth mindset in another. We're not perfect, and we don't have 100% growth mindset. But when you start building that growth mindset, it starts to permeate much more of your life, and you start diminishing that fixed mindset and those negative self thoughts and limitations that might exist. So if you look at this final example, if you look at your situation, you can kind of see where do I fall more into a fixed mindset point of view or a growth mindset point of view? And remember, the fixed mindset basically is coming from the point of view that I was born this way, I have limitations, I have restrictions, and I just have to deal with that's what I have available to me. Whereas the growth mindset might look at things in a different way and think of it more in terms of, hey, I might be in this situation right now, but what can I do to improve and grow and learn? And you're going to have a seesaw, a teeter-totter, if you will, where you're going to go back and forth. And again, like I said, as you grow into that growth mindset and start taking action to do so, take those risks, accept those challenges, try to do things to give yourself more of a leg up on that growth mindset, you're going to see that that balance is going to fall into the growth side versus the fixed side. So what can you do? Well, really, bottom line, you need to think about exercising your brain just like any other muscle in your body if you wanted to improve your health. You want to have goals that are learning goals, learning for the sake of learning, not just that grade. You want to accept that feedback as meaningful criticism, not an insult to your character or your talent. You might have to be flexible or adaptable and change course, take those challenges as they arise, and really truly believe that what you're putting into it is worth what you're going to get out of it. Even if it's not your ultimate goal, you still think there's value to the process and the journey. And when you start doing that, you're going to see that that inner critic and defender are quelled and those voices are a little less loud. So watch this short video that gives another description of a growth mindset.
Do you know this guy? Need some hints? As a kid, he struggled with school. He dropped out of college after only 6 months, and for money would return Coke bottles for 5-cent refunds. Okay, one more. He helped found a company called Apple. You see, Steve Jobs wasn't born rich or a genius, but he did have a growth mindset. Simply put, growth mindset means that with effort, you can train your brain to get smarter. That's right. Scientists have learned that the human brain acts a lot like a muscle, and using your brain can actually cause it to grow and even get heavier. You see, when you learn new things, tiny connections in the brain multiply and get stronger. The more you challenge your mind to learn, the more brain cells you grow, leading to a stronger, smarter brain. As a result, things that once seemed hard actually become easier. People with a growth mindset know that it takes effort to train your brain. Start by exploring new information. Learning something new can be scary, and you might get frustrated, but it's only because you haven't yet made the connections your brain needs. It's up to you to take charge. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Just like exercising your body, repeating an action builds strength. Read, write, or say something important at least 5 to 10 times to make it stick. Most importantly, don't give up. When something is hard, that's when you need more effort, not less, to build those connections in the brain. Say, here's one more. Do you know this person? Need a hint? The growth mindset, they can train their brain to become stronger and smarter.
In an example from a student, here's someone who was kind of frustrated because she would read her book, she would fall asleep in lectures, and realized, hey, you know what? As a learner, maybe I'm using the wrong kind of strategies to keep myself engaged and involved in what I'm doing. And she liked to doodle. So then she realized, hey, I could doodle my notes instead of doodling meaningless little pictures. So when you can adapt for something like that, you really can make use of your learning preference styles and you can really make it more of a growth mindset for yourself. Don't get stuck in that idea that, oh, I have to take notes the way that I did in high school or the only way I learned, if you even learned, and apply it the same way in every class. You have to be a little bit more inventive and creative and see that one style doesn't necessarily fit all situations. So think about your preferred way of learning. There's a million theories out there, but we'll just boil down to the essentials. If you're a thinking learner, you tend to be the person who's more theoretically based, where you want to see the data, you want to know what theories back things up, and you want to know what the experts are saying about it. Whereas if you're a doing learner, sometimes it's called kinesthetic, you like the hands-on, you like taking action, you like tinkering with things, pulling them apart and figuring out how they work. And you might want to do a lot more evaluation of things. So for example, this guy took apart a cell phone to see how it worked. If you're a feeling learner, you tend to be more interested in wanting to know the relevance of, why do I need to know this? Why do I need to have this understanding? How am I going to apply it in my regular life, my work life? How's it going to help me with relationships or communication? And why are other people going to expect me to know this and understand? Why do I care? And innovating learners are going to be the ones that tend to be a little bit more creative because they think outside of the box. They think about the possibilities, the what ifs, the alternatives, those new possibilities. They maybe see connections that other people didn't make. Plus, they also think, well, this might be a traditional use for this. What can I use it for in an alternative form? Unfortunately, when you set up your schedule, you don't necessarily know if your teacher's style and your learning style match. So it's really important to understand your preference and really get a handle on that so that you can then assess whether it matches your instructor's style or not. If it doesn't, then you need to think about changes that you need to make in class. For example, reviewing your process of how you take your notes, listen to lectures, where you sit, those kinds of things, and determine changes outside of class, like what kind of needs assessment do I have? Do I need a tutor? Do I need to read my assignments in a different kind of way? Do I need to take book notes? Do I need to rewrite my notes? Maybe I should get a study group. You need to modify your resources. Again, don't necessarily only take handwritten notes. Maybe you want to bring a laptop or a tablet to class. Maybe you want to record lectures. Make use of your classmates as resources. Share notes with each other. Maybe you picked up on something that someone else didn't, and that can lead to study groups that are very effective. Also, make use of our services and departments that can help you and help you to become the best student that you can be. Academic Support Center and the Writing Center are wonderful in being able to assist you with note-taking techniques. They can assess if you bring your notebook in and say, okay, well, this might be why you're having a problem. You are incomplete in your thoughts here. Why are you trying to write down every word your instructor said? Have you tried it these different ways? And they can give you suggestions and strategies and send you to resources where you can learn more about different strategies as well. So make use of the resources not only there, but on the Managing Your Success Library Info Guide.